You're not gonna see like tons of Afro-Panamanians in Panama City. Welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, wait, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first real vlog video. Hold on. You're not gonna see like tons of Afro-Panamanians in Panama City. So because we knew that before we got there, we didn't expect to see them. And just seeing what Panama City is, you're like, oh. Once going to Panama City, you realize that's not where your people are at. Right? Like, there's not, most people in Panama City, the majority are Hispanic indigenous or Hispanic European. They're not Hispanic Afro-Panamanians. I wasn't surprised that I didn't see a lot of people in Panama City that look like me. Although, according to my husband, they all look like me. But I'm like, no, you can tell, like, these are indigenous. These are indigenous people, some, but majority are like indigenous or white Panamanians, like Europeans. I met a family who is authentic, like they're originally from the Canal Zone, but they now live in Panama City, but they live in West Panama City, which is like not the downtown part. So I knew that before I got there, which I'm so glad I found that out before I went, because I think I would have been very confused. Seeing what Panama City is, you're like, oh, okay. It's what they call mestizos, Spanish mestizos. So they're mixed indigenous and European. And that's what the majority of Panama City is in the core downtown where we stayed. All right, so I wanted to get to my people then, right? Where are my people at? So I hired a driver to take us to Colón, which is where my grandparents lived, and where my grandparents on my grandmother and her sisters on the other side were born. We were able to go to the city of Colón, which everyone says is super dangerous and super bad and all of that, and it just looked like Flatbush to me. Like, it reminds me of Flatbush in the 90s, which was dangerous and had its fair share of issues. Like, if you took, but it's way more densely populated. I'll put up some videos so you guys can see, but I mean, it just like street vendors and people going to buy things and a lot of hustling around. And Panama's so interesting because architecture-wise, it looks like New Orleans or Old San Juan, or like, it looks like so many other places I've been, and it would be so beautiful if they just kept it up, but they don't. And I've heard that there's all types of reasons why they don't reinvest into the area. It's tough because when you go to, for example, we went to the cruise port while we were in Colón, and we went to the mall there, the duty-free mall. Gorgeous, right? Well kept, clean, everything great. But then you go to like the shopping center where all the locals shop, and you're like, this is worse than Flatbush in some ways, like worse. You know, just like the buildings are just not maintained. They don't have, you know, at least in New York, even when things are crowded and you know, they still have street cleaning rules, like they still have trash pickup. There's none of that in a lot of places in Panama. Like trash pickup, trash is everywhere, you know, and you're kind of like, dang, like, do people not see? Or there's just nothing that they can do. I think about growing up in Brooklyn, like how you don't realize how dirty New York is until you leave. And as a kid, my parents would take me to Barbados every summer. And when I would come back, New York always looked extra dirty. And it's because you get used to seeing something else in the Caribbean, and then you come back and you're like, oh man, this place looks awful. But then your eyes adjust. They adjust and you can't see it anymore. You can't see the dirt and the grime. Even now, living in Charlotte for almost 10 years, when I go back to New York, I'm like, oh, my son, who is only 8, he's like, New York is broken. Like, I remember the first time we drove to New York with him when he was old enough to like really realize. And he was like, everything here is broken. And I'm like, dang, he's right, you know? So Panama City, there's a lot broken, a lot of buildings that are just abandoned and have no windows. Some of those buildings that look abandoned and have no windows or missing windows, people actually live there, which is crazy. So in a lot of ways, like, I think my experience in Panama would be very different than someone else just going, because most people are going for vacation. I'm going to understand history and family and roots and like living conditions. And you know, the guy that I met who was born in 1936, he's like, oh yeah, well, your grandparents lived here at a time where Colón was very beautiful. And I'm grateful to hear that, because what it looked like when I went there the other day was not, right? And it made me feel sad for the people that are still living there. Now, there are other parts of Colón that we didn't get to go see that I want to go back and see, like Isla Grande and Portobello and Playa Langosta. I went to Ciudad de Sol, so I was able to see like sort of how a more like middle class community looks in Colón. But yeah, it was an experience for sure. I really want to go back because it is, it's history, it's family. Yeah. So all in all, like, this trip for me wasn't one, like, there's some trips where you're like, oh my God, I had such a great time and I partied and I ate and we drank and this and that, and it's a 10 out of 10. For me, Panama, because it was not that type of trip, it was a combination. I feel like it was a great trip. I would like to go back and explore some more, and learn more and see what else I can find out. Like, I have 2 family members that are buried in Colón that I would like to go find their graves, if they're still there. I'll be able to find it. That to me would like gut punch it home. And I would like to go to Colón next time with someone who is local, local to not this, maybe not the city of Colón, but maybe another area. The guy that we met, the old guy who took us touring around, he said that he doesn't even go to the city of Colón because it's so dangerous. And to me, I'm just like, Brooklyn 2.0. And there can be places worse, right, than New York. You realize what I've learned is that New York, while there are people that are poor, a lot gets blended together because we all live amongst each other. And not that we all live in the same areas, but if you get on a train, you're gonna see somebody who's dirt poor, who's middle class, and who's upper class, all on the same train, right? Or on the same bus. New York forces that type of integration, whether we realize it or not, and that is missing in a lot of places, right? Like, Charlotte doesn't have that integration. We have the local bus where all the low-income people ride, and then we have the express bus where all the middle and upper middle class people ride, if they take the bus at all, right? So we see a clearer separation in certain cities than you get to see in New York. New York, a lot is integrated in transportation. It's not integrated in living, right? You could live in Brownsville and you could live on the Upper West Side, and y'all can never go to each other's neighborhoods. But if you got to get to 125th Street, or if you have to get to downtown Brooklyn, you're going to be on the same train. We have our own versions of separation, right? Like MTA versus Long Island Railroad versus Metro North. But those same people coming in from upstate or coming in from Long Island, if they've got to get someplace in the city, they got to jump on the local train after they get off their snazzy Metro North or Long Island Railroad, a PATH train or New Jersey Transit, right? So, I appreciate the integration in New York much more now that I live in a city where they don't have that integration, and there's a very bad stigma associated with the local bus compared to the express bus or the train. And then in places like Panama, you get to see it even starker. Like, you do not see the lowest of the low walking around where the high rises are. You just don't, right? So they're more tucked away, but still visible in a lot of ways, because I'm going to show you some video. It's easier to show it than to explain it.